Hello, mamas. Welcome back to a brand new episode featuring me and my face grease and my face sweat. Because it is becoming summer in LA and I cannot take the heat past room temperature. So if you're watching this on the video, please excuse the fact that I look like a rotisserie chicken. In the, when you go to the grocery store and they have the little rotisserie chicken stand in the deli and they're all just sitting there cooking for eternity. That is what I look like. And it doesn't help that I have like 14 lights on me right now. So please excuse my rotisserie chickenness. How are you doing? Hello, bestie. I freaking missed you. Hope you had a great week. Today I have a story for you, which is, of course, how I almost died, but this time a little bit figuratively. Now, a lot of you might be able to relate to this. I'm sure pretty much everyone listening to this will be able to relate to this, because this takes place at a middle school dance. If your middle school didn't have any dances, I envy you. I envy the peace and serenity you have in your soul. Middle school dances took that from me. I don't have that anymore. It's gone. Before we begin, I'm actually so excited to announce that today's episode is sponsored by my neighbors screaming at each other and fighting constantly. So if you hear that during this podcast episode, that is what is going on. No, I don't have hostages trapped in my basement trying to get out. I don't know why, but I got some new neighbors, and I'm like in a house, but it's like joined to another house, and I know that there's definitely a term for that, but that term is not stored in my brain, and I can't remember what it's called. But anyways, I can always hear whenever they're in the garage. Like, I film this in my garage, very professional. That's why it's kind of echoey. I'm so sorry, mamas, but they won't stop fighting. They literally... I will come downstairs here in the morning. This is where I eat my yogurt and plan out my day. And I will come down here and they will be in the other garage screaming at each other for no reason. And I'm like this is the I Almost Died podcast, not y'all almost dying podcast. Like, it literally sounds like they are going to homicide each other. It's so scary. Anyways, if you hear banging on the wall or screaming, it's not me, mamas. It is just what I have to deal with. So anyways, back to the whole middle school thing. Actually, before we get into that, today's video is also sponsored by my pants. If you're on the video, you can see this. You know the bottom ring of your pants, like around the ankle? It is completely separated on the jeans that I'm wearing. And my foot is going through it, and it is not going through the jean hole. It's going through this new hole that has opened up in the rib, and it's driving me a little bit bonkers. If I seem a little agitated today, that is why. It is testing my sanity. But back to the original thing that is testing my sanity to this day is my experiences with middle school dances. Now, there's the incident of this podcast episode, which we will get into. But first, I want to preface that with kind of like the vibe. Let me take you into the world of my middle school dances before we get too crazy, okay? So, for some reason, I don't know why, but my middle school must have had like a $14 million budget for school dances. We had these things literally every month, and I don't understand why. It really felt like going to middle school was like going to the club. I'm sure it must have been really fun. This was when I was in peak social anxiety mode, so I really didn't enjoy them. I really didn't enjoy the pressure of having to find someone to ask to the dance, which was a very normalized thing for these dances that I had to go to. But we had them all the freaking time, like Halloween, Easter, Christmas. Name any holiday, they'd be like, Labor Day dance. Why? We had so many, and it made no sense. But I'm not gonna lie, the music was kind of fun. So for all these dances that we would have, this was like, I think literally between grade 6 and grade 9, which was the grades for my middle school. I know it's weird. I know all y'all Americans are like, grade 9 in middle school? That's freshman year. No, they put that in middle school because why? Canada just wants to be, I don't know. They want to be a little snowflake and stand out. So I guess that's why they put grade 9 in middle school, which kind of made it hell because then middle school's 4 years long and it feels like an endless spiral of no escape. Anyways, between grade 6 and 9, I had a crap ton of dances. Now the incident that I'm going to bring up takes place in grade 7. So for all these dances, we would always have like the same DJ. It was the same guy from like the local radio station. And, like, he wasn't bad. Okay, well, here's the thing. This DJ was, like, a 50-year-old man who would wear, like, a button-up shirt with palm trees on it and had a hairline receding all the way to freaking Antarctica. No hate to the receding hairline gang. Love y'all. I'll probably join you at some point in my life. I'm just not about that life right now, baby. Okay. So, this man would play literally the weirdest songs ever. Like, he would, like, play, like, 90s music. Like, stuff that, like, you'd think, like, a boomer would play to, like, try and be like, hey, hey, fellow kids. You like my tunes? Like, that kind of music. But the one good thing about him is he would play, like, pretty much any song we would request. And let me tell you, having everyone in a room dance to Gangnam Style is kind of a spiritual experience. I'm not gonna lie. It was very fun. Some of the stuff we would request, we'd be like, I distinctly remember at one of the dances, I'd go up to the man and I'd be like, hi, sir. Can you play Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO? And he'd be like, yeah, I already got 14 requests for that. That's coming up next. Like, like all the songs like middle schoolers would request, he would play. And it was not limited to like actual songs. This man played like literally like a Minecraft, which one was it? Like a Captain Sparkles Minecraft song. And it was so funny because like it was like truly the one time that I felt world peace, because we had all like the popular jock kids having to stand there and dance to our little Minecraft songs, and it was truly glorious. It was truly glorious. Anyways, back to the incident. So, as I mentioned earlier, at these dances, it would be common practice to ask someone to the dance. Now, this would be whenever there was a slow song, which would be indicated by like he like changed the disco lights to like blue and stuff, and he'd be like, we got a slow song coming up in 3 songs. He'd be like we got Rolling in the Deep by Adele coming up right after Gangnam Style. Go grab your ladies and grab your fellas. And that's how you knew that there would be a slow song. Like, I'm not even kidding. He would go from Gangnam Style to like Christian, look at your jar of hearts. Oh, we can't sing that. We're gonna get copyrighted. Anyways, I went through multiple dances with no date. I know that's a big shocker to everyone, but guess what? I'm scared of people. And the thought of asking someone to a dance put an extreme shudder down my spine. So that was just like out of the question. So throughout my middle school journey, I started to get like a little bit more confident, and it kind of peaked around grade 8. This was when I kind of befriended some of the popular kind of like jock people. And so I went from being a nobody to a somebody. Ew. But basically I had friends. Like before, actually, no one knew me. Like I was invisible. Like my middle school had a crap ton of people. I would just like be in the back of people's minds as like one of the like little Minecraft nerds. So I was like finally like I didn't have friends, but like people knew my name for once, for the first time in 2 years of going to that middle school. So, so I was like, okay, this year is the year that I get a date to the dance. Okay, this is the year that I turn my life around. This is the year I find someone, and I get in a relationship, and I get married in grade 9. That was the goal. You were looking back, like you really have no clue how relationships work at all as a kid. Like I really like it's just like this foggy part of your brain. It's like, how does that happen? And like I remember seeing people get into relationships in middle school and I'd be like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing in that? I don't know. Cause like you like you'd have no clue, especially if you were someone like me who like never was shown interest by anyone. It was like this like mysterious thing that you had no clue how that happened. But in my mind, I was like, okay, well, the first step to any healthy relationship, any healthy marriage, is getting a date to the Halloween dance. So I was like building myself up for this dance. I had like got my friends to like hype me up. I was like, hey bros. By the way, my friends this time were like all like I said, like the jock people, but they were like all like into hunting and airsoft guns. So I would like try and match their energy. I'd be like, hey bros, I'm thinking of asking someone to the dance. And they'd be like, yeah, bro. Let's get some bleep tonight. I'm like, we are 14 years old. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Let's get some what tonight? Let's get some sleep before 9 p.m. because we have middle school tomorrow. That's what we're going to get tonight. Like, what? Anyways, they were kind of hyping me up. They're like, okay, like, we'll be your wingman. We'll be your wingman. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling confident about this dance. So I mentioned earlier, this was on Halloween. This was our Halloween dance. And in middle school, not so much high school, honestly, but in middle school, like you dress up. You're weird if you don't dress up for Halloween in middle school. Like high school, people get boring, especially like senior year. People are like,
what are you dressed up?
Like you only dress up if it's like something fun you can like bring to a party. Like no one's dressing up as like a minion or something. I mean, no one should ever dress up as a minion. That's like a human rights violation. But like, no one's doing like fun dress ups. They're all like,
I'm gonna be like a bunny.
Or like,
I'm gonna be like a lifeguard.
boring. Anyways, so like in middle school though, people go all out. And mamas, did I go all out? I think I posted pictures of it before. But I'll describe to you what my costume was that year. But I might cry during the process of it because it's bringing back a little bit of trauma. So I wanted to be grapes. I really don't know where this idea came from, but it was kind of genius, to be honest. Like I really was kind of next level with this idea. I wanted to be grapes for Halloween. You're probably thinking, Ben, how would you pull that off? This is how. Do you know what a morph suit is? It is a skin-tight spandex outfit. It completely covers your whole body, like from toes to head. It zips up, like it basically turns you into like just completely wrapped in a fabric. And I had a green one from my YouTube videos. I cannot believe that's the same channel as the one I run now. I cannot believe my 13-year-old YouTube channel is literally. Anyways, so the base to this costume, which was supposed to be like the stem of the grapes, was this green morph suit, this green spandex suit. And then for the actual grapes, I had filled up purple balloons with air, and I got my mom to like pin them all over my body. So I was a walking vine of grapes. I'm talking grape balloons completely enclosing my body. And it worked until what I'm about to say after this quick break. BRB. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I was grapes. Head to toe grapes. I had about 30 balloons, 30 purple balloons, like the size of my head balloons wrapped around me. And underneath, I was just this morph suit. Like I mentioned, skin tight. So you could see every curvature of my body. So that was already terrifying to begin with. Anyways, throughout the day, you know what happens to balloons? They pop. And they were popping at a rate that I was very not okay with. As soon as I had gotten on the bus, like 4 balloons had already gone. And these weren't any balloons. These weren't like ones on my shoulder, like ones that wouldn't really make a difference. The balloons on my butt cheeks popped. And not only that, the balloon in front of my actual grape twig popped. So before I even got to school, I had that exposed. Now I was wearing underwear. Obviously, I'm not a psycho, but it still leaves a curvature. And you can still see my butt, which was pretty much probably just completely flat. Like it probably from my back to my legs was just a completely straight line. Anyways, so I had literally nothing covering that. And throughout the day, it just became less and less like grapes. So, like by lunchtime, I literally only had some grapes on my torso, on my head. All the ones on my back had popped, so that was really good. The people in my first few classes, like they knew I was grapes, but throughout the day, as I saw people who hadn't seen me since the morning, they were like, "What are you dressed as? And why can I see your peeper right now?" And this was causing like full scale like panic attack, anxiety. Ooh. I was like texting my mom like, "You need to pick me up right now. Why did I not bring a change of clothes?" I really went to school wearing nothing but that, no t-shirt, no pants. I had no plan B. This was disaster territory, okay? Absolute disaster. And I'm like, "Mom, like you need to pick me up." Half the school has seen the curvature of my pee device and my melons, and I'm not safe, and I need you to pick me up right now. And she was not answering because she was at work. So I'm like, so the dance for Halloween was at the end of the day, like after the last class, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home. Like they're not forcing me to go to the dance. They can't do that. The school has ended. I don't have to be here. I can leave. I can flee with my life. So the end of the day comes around. I am down to maybe 4 balloons. And there comes a point when you're faced with great... Why did the police just make a siren noise outside of my house? There comes a point when you face great challenge, great suffering, that you just have to accept it. You just have to dive in to the pain. And that is what I did. I took those final balloons and I popped them. And I was just the morph suit at this point. I was just one giant green man. Not giant. I was small. I was very small. I hit puberty very late. That's a different story. I was a tiny green boy. And you could see everything. But it was time for the dance. People had some fun costumes, like big, crazy, extravagant costumes. So like, you know what? It wasn't like I was like a super odd one out. Okay, there was definitely some like other crazy stuff. But anyways, I had a girl in mind for who I wanted to ask to the dance. Now, in the horrible event that she's watching this, we are going to call her Ashley. Yeah, we'll call her Ashley. Now, Ashley was special to me at the time because she was one of the only other people in the school that was vegetarian. This was very rare back then, like literally in 2013 or 14, to be a vegetarian. No one was doing it. No one. And I literally got bullied for it. People were like, why aren't you vegetarian? I'm like, I like animals, you wench. So eat my booty. But I was one of the only ones. This girl, Ashley, was literally one of the only other vegetarians at the school. And not only that, she was gorgeous. I had the fattest crush, like literally. And she was like one of the most liked people in my grade. Like she was nice to everyone. So it was like really, I had some competition essentially. I was like, my odds were not good to begin with. Not to mention, I was borderline a naked green skinny Shrek that was 5'6". So it was really not good. It was really. So the dance begins, and you're probably wondering, Ben, why did you go to the dance? It's a good question. I was forced to go to the dance. I remember asking, like, so we would all go as a class to the dance afterwards, and like you had to stick with your class, like in my middle school. But anyways, I remember asking the teacher, I was like, I want to go home. I don't want to go to the dance. Sorry about that little weird break. My camera just overheated, surprise, surprise, and I just had to put it in the freezer for 30 minutes. So I really hate my camera. Anyways, I didn't want to go to the dance, told the teacher, didn't want to go to the dance. I wanted freedom. I wanted my liberty. But she was like, listen, this is in your school fees. Your parents are paying for you to go to this dance, okay? The taxpayers are paying for you to go to this dance. And if you don't go, it really reflects on your character. And I'm like, why you gotta bring the taxpayers into this? Like, what? I was so confused. I'm like, I just really don't want to go. If you haven't seen, my whole peeper is out. Which, by the way, in retrospect, is really weird how I didn't get dress coded for that. But they would literally see a molecule of a girl's shoulder and be like, jail. Burn her at the stake. Like, what? That makes no sense. Anyways, so they forced me to go to the dance. And it was also a mixture of peer pressure. Like, I was like, okay, maybe if I just make a break for it, like if I duck out the emergency exit door and run, I will make it home before the police catch me. But my friends are like, bro, like, you gotta go, man. Like, Ashley's like waiting for you. I'm like, oh my God. So the dance begins. I was with my homies, with my broskies. And the vibe was like pretty good. It was pretty fun. We were all just chilling. And the DJ mentions he has a slow song coming on, and I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. I was like, you know when you're dreading something, but you know it's coming up relatively soon, and you're like living in like a momentary bliss of like, it's in the future, it's not going to happen. I have plenty of time. And then the thing happens, you're like, oh my God. So the man was like, after party rock anthem, we got Jar of Hearts by Christina Perri coming up. Pew, 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 pew. That's me doing an air horn. And I'm like, oh my God. So all my homies and my bros were like, Ben, it is time. You have to ask Ashley. So our whole kind of pack went over there. A few of them were asking a few of her friends. So it was going to be like kind of like a team effort, a little wingman scenario. So we walk up there and they start asking friends and like her friends, and they're like,
Yes, of course. Of course I'll dance with you, Bobby.
and then they like all like get in like kind of like the area where people were like lining up to their slow dances, and got to the point where it was just like me and like one other dude and Ashley, and it was very evident that I had to ask her, and I was like, I said in my own words, hey, my vegetarian pal. Hey, my vegetarian pal. I was wondering if you wanted to dance with me. So she turns around immediately after saying that, like almost as if I was not there, almost as if a fly flew past her and she was avoiding it. And she's talking to her friends and giggling. And she turns back around to me, doesn't say anything. It's like a brief beat, a moment of silence. And I said, "Hey, my vegetarian pal." And then I said, "May I have this dance?" Thinking that like adding the little "may I" would really, really get the chivalry glands going. She's like,
I don't think so.
and then turns around and giggles with her friends. I am standing there, essentially naked, in a completely green morph suit. My pee-pee is visible. My butt cheeks are visible. I had baby fat still, so my tummy was kind of out, so my tummy was visible. And I had just been rejected, and everyone was dancing to the slow songs, and I'm just standing there looking like a worm. So during these dances, the concession stand outside would like sell snacks and stuff. And when I tell you I went to my locker, I grabbed a $20 bill and I blew $20 on snacks. It was to the point where they wouldn't give me half the snacks because they're like, that's too much sugar, Ben. Like, you can't have all that. I got live wires. I got a whole thing of gummy keys. I got Sun Chips. I got hot Cheetos and a vitamin water. And I sat on the tables outside the cafeteria and I ate them for the rest of the dance because there was no way in hell that I was going back in there after that absolute monstrosity. And then the dance ended, and I walked home in my green morph suit, and I just decomposed in my bed. And that was that. I don't know if there's a moral to this story, but if you're gonna do a grape costume that involves you wearing a completely green morph suit and balloons that are definitely gonna pop on impact, do not do it. You will have trauma. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So, I know this is I Almost Died podcast. No, I didn't die, but a part of me died in that moment on that day. That was really terrible. That was a really terrible time. But overall, I bounced back, to be completely honest. Like, I was still kind of like a nerd, but the dances the following years, I mean, were actually kind of fun. I never dressed up crazy like that for Halloween again. I kept it very much Harry Potter or something very minimal. Sometimes minimalism for Halloween is the way to go. And not grapes. Grapes is never the way to go for Halloween. So I kept it really chill the following years, but the dances were kind of fun. I don't think I ever asked anyone to dance. Past that, never had a prom. My high school never had prom for some reason. I don't understand what that was about. I think it's a Canadian thing. Canada doesn't have prom, which is stupid. Like, I know Canada's like allergic to following like American traditions, but it's like, come on. That is in every coming of age movie, and we're just not going to have it. We're just not going to have prom. That is so stupid. Just do it. What does it cost y'all? Like $10 to get a DJ from the radio station and a punch bowl? Come on. You can do it. We didn't even have prom. We had like it was like grad, but it was just like, it was so busted. I literally hardly even remember my graduation because it was so boring. They didn't even use my senior quote. Fun fact. People always ask me, Ben, what was your senior quote? Nothing. Because it was like some song lyric. It was like a Childish Gambino song lyric, and they didn't know what it meant. It was nothing dirty or anything. It was just like a funny song lyric. And they denied it. And what they said when I walked across the stage to like get my diploma, they were like,
Ben is excited to start university.
No, I got dragged to do that. I never wanted to do university. That's a story for another time. Thank you so much for listening to me recount my trauma. I love you so much. Make sure you tweet me your near-death experiences using the hashtag #IAlmostDiedPodcast. And I will read them in an episode. And with that all being said, love you so much. Please do not die. Follow me on Instagram at Ben of the Week, YouTube at Ben of the Week. I'll see you later. Take care. Ben of the Week, it's